Atiq Ahmed's bloodshot eyes were terrifying. Even at a modest 5 feet 6 inches with a cap always on his head, he could stare down anyone from fellow gangsters to daring cops. Such was his dominance that his gang could easily grab land from a farmer and properties from big traders and businessmen as well. If anyone protested, they were threatened.
साढ़े तोहार परिवार को मिटा देंगे इस दुनिया से.
If they went to the police, the complainants were abused and badly roughed up. Like in 2015, when he tried to capture a big tract of land belonging to one of Lucknow's well-known traders, the police intervened to stop them. But the miffed mafia don barged into the trader's hotel, while his henchmen had all the CCTV cameras switched off and threatened him.
ले फोन, खींच मेरा फोटो और भेज जिसे भेजना है. कुछ भी कर ले, और अब से तेरी जमीन तेरे नए बाप अतीक की है.
And forcibly made to sign papers that meant their property went to Atiq for a pittance. So cocky was he that in the last few years he would even record these incidents and make it viral on social media, which would have the ripple effect of spreading panic among the people of Uttar Pradesh. Atiq simultaneously ran an extensive extortion racket targeting traders and businessmen meant to fuel his election campaign, which was termed election tax slips. If someone received a white slip, they had to cough up 3 to 5 lakh rupees, while a yellow one required them to shell out a huge 5 to 50 lakhs. The Politico mafia then bulldozed everyone in his way to get tenders in construction, electricity and railways. He didn't even spare one IPS officer, Lalji Shukla, who had the balls to arrest the gangster on his own in the notorious criminal era of the 1990s, for which Atiq made sure.
सर मुंह मीठा कीजिए, आपका ट्रांसफर हो गया है.
Even behind bars in the last 15 years, Atiq had easy access to SIM cards, phones, knives and pen drives in his barrack, using which he monitored an astounding 200 on-ground handlers carrying out their usual illegal activities. Like predators in the wild teach their young to kill, the brutal murders were a live game for Atiq to train his rookie henchmen. Jail authorities were so scared and fed up that they kept pleading to the government.
अतीक ने नाक में दम करके रखा है, उसे दूसरे जेल भिजवा दीजिए.
So Atiq kept hopping within many jails of Uttar Pradesh and was even sent to a prison in Gujarat by the Supreme Court. Many in the mighty judiciary, the protector of people's fundamental rights, also feared him. Like during the 2012 UP Assembly elections, when he approached the Allahabad High Court to get bail.
जज साहब मुझे कैंपेन करना है, ये मेरा हक है.
As many as 10 judges recused themselves from hearing his bail application in fear of antagonizing him by refusing. It was only the 11th judge who was inclined to agree to Atiq's demand who presided. Bail is granted. But as they say in UP and Bihar, a gangster's run often ends up on the post-mortem table, which interestingly he had prophesied around 20 years back.
या तो एनकाउंटर होगा, या पुलिस मारेगी, या कोई अपनी बिरादरी का सिरफिरा सड़क के किनारे कहीं पड़े मिलेंगे.
So there was this madman in UP's Banda, 22-year-old Lavesh Tiwari.
किस लिए पैदा हुआ है बे? भाई तेरा माफिया बॉस.
The ambitious crackpot was a druggie, which led to his family throwing him out of the house. With 4 criminal cases for smuggling illicit liquor, coupled with eve teasing and molestation, he soon graduated into becoming a local goon, landing up in jail, which is where he met Mohit, aka Shani Singh, another wannabe gangster, who himself had left home at the tender age of 11, fed up with the regular fights of his parents, and ended up becoming a member of the notorious Sundar Bhatti gang, where he learned to shoot from both hands with equal precision, going on to become a history sheeter with 14 cases from attempted murder to robbery. Eventually, the new friends came out on bail, and once, when they were drinking at a local bar, a waiter slyly approached them.
साहब, अगर आपको कट्टे की जरूरत होगी ना, तो मुझको बताइएगा.
He was Arun, only 18 years of age, but had the gall to deal in locally made weapons, while his poor father dealt in pani puris. All 3 ruffians soon became good friends, with Mohit, the most experienced of the lot, being their de facto leader. Mohit's role model was the gangster Lawrence Bishnoi, and he was addicted to watching his videos and interviews, which he showed his friends too. Inspired by the big kill of Punjabi singer Sidhu Moosewala that made Bishnoi famous, the 3 also started dreaming about similarly wiping out Atiq and his gang, and thus achieving fame for themselves. Funnily enough, these 3 seemed like a younger version of Atiq himself, who too had taken a similar trajectory to mafiahood. Born in 1962 to a poor Tangawala father and housewife mother, He had dropped out after middle school against the wishes of his father, who dreamt a better life for him. The idle young man soon got involved with a few other rowdies, stealing coal from trains and earning a tidy sum. At that tender age, he had the confidence to intimidate contractors out of the railway scrap metal business so that he could get those government tenders. His audacity increased further after he joined Chand Baba, the established don of his area, Chakia Mohalla. So much so that when Muhammad Ghulam, another scrap metal dealer, didn't heed him, Atiq killed him, his first murder at just 17 years of age. Then, taking advantage of a dispute between Chand Baba and some local politicians and police, he betrayed his guru and wooed them to form his own gang despite not being that well known at that time. In a show of overconfidence in 1985, he intercepted a vehicle of the land mafia don Maula Bhukkal in broad daylight. Though nothing happened that day, but rubbing biggie mafias the wrong way led police to Atiq's doors for the first time the following year. But he was still full of bluster.
किसके अंदर इतना गुदा आ गया जो मुझे पकड़े? सीधा सीएम का हुक्म है.
Little did he know that the police were not taking him to jail but to a secret location. This time, Atiq feared for his life.
आज तो पक्का एनकाउंटर. अल्लाह के पास जाने का वक्त आ गया है.
For once, he felt the same dread as others faced when they were at his mercy. The legend goes that he was saved at the last minute after intervention by some big Congress leaders.
सर का ऑर्डर है कि आज के लिए छोड़ दें इसे.
However, the state government, the Congress CM's police, kept filing multiple cases against him, making him paranoid that he would be bumped off. So the wily gangster made arrangements to get himself arrested because behind bars seemed like the safest place. By the time he came out 2 years later in 1989, his once guru Chand Baba, taking advantage of his absence, stood for elections. It was at this moment when Atiq realized,
साला पॉलिटिक्स में जाने का वक्त आ गया है. वही अपना रास्ता सबसे बड़ा डॉन बनने का.
in that era, the Ram Janmabhoomi movement was growing fast, making Muslims very insecure in Uttar Pradesh. So he rode on that sentiment as an independent candidate, transforming himself into a messiah of the Muslim masses. But Chand Baba did not like yet another challenge from his double-crossing ward, and while counting was still going on, he and his gang attacked Atiq and his henchmen while they were drinking tea outside the counting center. But in the gruesome gang war that ensued, it was actually Chand Baba who was killed. On one hand, Atiq won the elections and started growing in his political career. On the other, his henchmen went after the remaining gang of Chand Baba and eliminated them, making him the numero uno mafia boss of his area, indulging in land grabbing and extortion as he pleased for years and years to come. With no one daring to stand against him, he won the 1991 and 93 assembly elections quite easily from the same seat. When he married the pretty Shaista Parveen in 1996, ironically the daughter of a retired police constable who lived in the government police quarters. Unlike the Anguta Chap illiterate Atiq, Shaista had passed 12th standard, who by the way helped in managing affairs of the gang whenever Atiq and his brother Ashraf went to jail after that. Lady Luck smiled on Atiq when the Samajwadi Party gave him a ticket to consolidate the MY Muslim Yadav votes, and he won on a party banner for the first time. However, it was short-lived as the ambitious mafia boss joined a small outfit, Apna Dal, in 1999 to become each state president and win elections from the same seat again. But the small-time party couldn't provide him with enough protection from the jaws of justice. So he again joined hands with the biggest crocodile back then, Mulayam, who by then was already the chief minister. Now he became MP in 2004 from Phulpur for the first and last time. And this election campaign trail was the one where he had prophesied his death. In 2005, when MP Atiq tried to propel his brother Ashraf to his MLA seat, they faced their biggest obstacle. Because for the first time, a small-time don Raju Pal from BSP challenged and even defeated Ashraf in the assembly elections. Aghast, Atiq plotted revenge.
जीते तो रम चलेगी, हारे तो बम चलेगी.
So a few days later, Atiq's henchmen in 2 Maruti vans overtook Pal's Toyota Qualis and his bodyguard Scorpio and blocked their way, and within seconds completely ambushed them with non-stop firing, their most heinous encounter, until Raju Pal died on the spot with 18 bullets lodged in his body. Atiq even got Raju's aide Umesh Pal kidnapped in 2006 to force him to stay silent as he was the prime witness. Then Ashraf easily won the bypoll and the Mafia Atiq looked stronger than ever in UP. But little did they know that this would lead them on a collision course with BSP's chief Mayawati and prove costly. As apart from this incident, the 1995 Lucknow guest house case still rankled her when Atiq led angry Samajwadi Party workers and vandalized the guest house she was staying in, which she was able to escape with extreme difficulty. Once she became chief minister in 2007, she made sure that Raju's widow Pooja defeated Ashraf in the election, and within a year, the political spell of the Ahmed brothers waned so rapidly that they never won a single election again. The same year, while he was building a property over land he had forcefully acquired in Prayagraj's upscale civil lines, he had to stand in harsh sunlight to oversee its construction. The adjoining cinema hall seemed a far better and shady place where he could sit comfortably.
ओ पहले स्टॉकेज को हथिया लेता हूँ, वहीं से देखूंगा.
So in full gusto, Atiq went there with 8 armed henchmen, beat up the manager and took away the theatre's keys. But the theatre belonged to one Veera Gandhi, who was distantly related to Indira Gandhi, and she called up her party's local representative Rita Bahuguna Joshi, who in turn reached out to Sonia Gandhi. Under pressure, a disgruntled Atiq had to return the keys of the theatre, being shown the limits of his muscle power. Then Mayawati's UP police went after him with full vigor, making Atiq forcibly run to Delhi in late 2007. He tried to run his gang from there, but this was not UP, and the Delhi police special cell soon caught him and returned him back to UP's jails. In 2008, Atiq and 5 other gangster MPs were released on bail for 2 days by the UPA government just to support it on the Indo-US nuclear deal in parliament. But the maverick Atiq refused to obey his master Mulayam's wishes and voted against it, thereby losing his only protector as he was expelled from the Samajwadi Party. Remarkably, a few years later, his old friend and foe Mulayam tried to get him back to the SP from the front door after the party came back to power. But his son Akhilesh, the then new chief minister, threw him out of the back door in disgust against his gang's never-ending violence. However, it was only after 2017 that the Yogi government completely spelled doom for him. He first shifted Atiq from his hometown Prayagraj jail to one in Deoria, over 300 kilometers away. But even from there, he orchestrated the kidnapping of a businessman, Mohit Jaiswal, from right outside his home in Lucknow. Incredibly, his henchmen brought him in an SUV to inside the jail complex, where they assaulted him in front of Atiq and forced him to sign papers to hand over property worth a whopping 40 crore. Here too, Atiq managed to get the CCTV footage of those 3 hours of the incident deleted from jail records. With no evidence left, an angry Yogi shunted him outside UP to Sabarmati jail in Gujarat in 2019, hoping this would curb his power. It worked. Atiq started losing his iron grip on his gang. And like Atiq betrayed his guru Chand Baba when he was young, many aides of Atiq started helping the police by filing FIRs against him and his family. In return, the police turned a blind eye on their own small property grabbing rackets in his name. Even builder Muhammad Muslim, not to be confused with Guddu Muslim, his most significant aide in the last 10 years, had turned against him. This helped the police actively pursue 50 cases by shutting down Atiq's businesses of illegal contracts and tenders worth thousands of crores, and seizing and demolishing properties worth a few more thousand crores grabbed by his gang. His political career was also finished. When he contested his last election from behind bars in 2019, he garnered only 855 votes. These few years were a brief period of lull in Atiq's activities while he was kept far away in Sabarmati jail. But by 2023, the rusty old mafia was going mad sitting in a dungeon. Mainly, he feared about the 2006 Umesh Pal kidnapping case coming to a conclusion in court in March. His wife Shaista had already taken on the role of representing Atiq in public, meeting people and attending functions, and soon got the hang of how the gang worked and smuggled a phone and a SIM card to Atiq via a policeman. With his 2 eldest sons also in jail and still there as of date, he used the smuggled phone and SIM to instruct his hot-headed younger son Asad, called Don in his college and known for posting wannabe mafia-style photos on social media, to kill Umesh Pal, the key witness in his brother BSP MLA Raju Pal's murder, bang in the middle of a market in full CCTV coverage in Feb 2023. That was the final point of reckoning when Yogi thundered in the UP assembly. माफियाओं को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे. Despite dozens of kidnappings and murders in the past decades in his mafia career, this was the case in which Atiq was sentenced to life imprisonment in March 2023 by a Prayagraj court, giving the UP government a chance to bring Atiq and his brother Ashraf back to Prayagraj in April 2023. Atiq was aware of how the dreaded gangster Vikas Dubey was encountered while in police custody earlier. Fearing he too would be similarly eliminated, he appealed in the Supreme Court against his transfer from Sabarmati jail.
मेरी जिंदगी पर सीधी और खुली तलवार लटक रही है. सरकार, आपको मुझे बचाना है.
But it was turned down.
This is not a matter for this court. Go to the High Court.
The state machinery will take care of you.
Yogi then made good on his promise by sending the UP police to chase down Umesh Pal's killer and Atiq's son Asad, and gunned him dead in an encounter in Jhansi the very next day after Atiq reached Prayagraj. Atiq was now at his lowest point in life, pleading for mercy.
हम बिल्कुल मिट्टी में मिल चुके हैं. अब हमारी औरतों और बच्चों को परेशान ना करें.
Seeing this as their best chance to eliminate Atiq, the three wannabe mafias, Mohit, Lavesh and Arun, arrived in Prayagraj the same day Asad was gunned down and stayed at a local lodge. To their surprise, the three assassins were given mics and cameras instead of bullets and rifles.
ये क्या ड्रामा है?
घोड़ा कहाँ है?
But Mohit calmed them down.
भाई लोगों, पहले ये सीख लो, ये प्लान का पार्ट है.
A local journalist hired by Mohit went on to give them a crash course on the basics of using these reporting tools. He also gave them fake press cards so as to easily access locations sealed off to the public. After dinner, Mohit finally revealed three sophisticated Turkish-made Zigana and Girsanbich pistols. But where did these small-time crooks get these 6-7 lakh costly guns? Reportedly, Mohit later told the police that he got it from the slain gangster Jitendra Mangogi 3 years ago in Delhi before he was killed in a Delhi courtroom shooting in December 2021. Late that night, while the trio rested in the lodge,
क्या क्या करेंगे यार जब बड़े डॉन बन जाएंगे?
और माँ की बड़ी याद आती है यार. रोता क्यों है? अरे सब वापस आ जाएगा. एक बार पावर और पैसा आ गया तो.
the three mad mafias started tracking Atiq and Ashraf's movements from the next day, April 14th. They wanted to eliminate them when they were brought to the court for a remand hearing in the court premises itself, but
भाई आज पुलिस बहुत ज्यादा है, शॉट नहीं मिल रहा है. आज अबॉर्ट करें, आज रहने दे.
disappointed and trying to figure out what to do next, the answer came to them the next day when Atiq's lawyer on a news channel informed the waiting media. They have diabetes and hypertension, not feeling well. Will be taken to Colvin Hospital. So at 9:30 that night, they flashed their press cards and entered the hospital premises and began to blend in with the deluge of media personnel there.
आज अगर अतीक का बाइट नहीं मिलाना तो एडिटर मार देगा.
At 10 p.m., two UP police vehicles carrying Atiq and Ashraf started from Dumangaj police station, hotly pursued by some media vans. For some reason, the police vehicles stopped at the hospital gates and did not go inside till the entrance. As soon as the handcuffed Atiq and Ashraf got out of the vehicle, many media people pestered them for a bite, but they didn't oblige. From the gate to the hospital building, the brothers had to traverse 20 steps, 20 dangerous steps. But just 2 steps inside, media folks once again accosted them with their mics, and this time they stopped. But the police gave them a nudge to move forward and they began walking again. Only to stop again after 5 more steps as the media now completely surrounded them, insisting
आपके बेटे के एनकाउंटर के बारे में आपका क्या कहना है?
that was their chance.
सिक्योरिटी आ दिया लवलेश, काम पूरा कर देना.
अरे भैया नहीं ले गए तो नहीं ले गए. मेन बात यह है कि गुड्डू मुस्लिम.
At that moment itself, the mad Lavesh audaciously cut through the media crowd and shot multiple rounds point blank into Atiq's head and then some on his torso. All of them then turned their attention to a stunned Ashraf and shot him multiple times as well. The scared media persons ran helter-skelter as the Ahmed brothers lay dead on the ground. The 3 shooters didn't run but raised their hands in surrender and shouted victoriously. The policeman then grabbed them and it was all over in just 30 seconds. Guddu Muslim, Ashraf's last words, was their close-eyed who always carried with him nails, shards and gunpowder so as to expertly make grenades on the run in 5 minutes anywhere. He is absconding and believed to be in hiding with Atiq's wife for almost a year now. Rumors also allege that it was he who gave police the tip-off to Asad's whereabouts that led to his encounter. The day after Atiq's death, there was an eerie silence in his Chakia colony, with police present in large numbers, shops shut, and the internet suspended. Where unlike his bombastic life, he got a quiet burial, and not even a dog barked at his funeral. 6 months later, his 2 youngest juvenile sons returned from a child protection home to their aunt's house amidst a lot of supporters' fanfare. Will the kids make something better of their lives than their mafia father? Or will they get divided like it happened in the film Diwar, with Shashi Kapoor becoming a policeman and his brother Amitabh a don?